Hi, this is Jaden from Failure Grip Emerald, and here is the last of the last Master Mode Dxun guide, which is going to be the Kite strat for Apex Vanguard, which is pretty much going to be the same strat as like for battery order, it's going to be the same thing as you would do for a normal kill, except that you don't make any flares at all. You pretty much eliminate flares. Oh, kite strat. Yes, you're gonna let the boss get 20 stacks and you're gonna kite. And you need to take advantage of maximize your stims and deflection saber ward usages. And to execute this strat, you need at the very minimum to have one marauder for predation. Ideally, you want to have two, but if you have one, it should be enough, but having two is ideal. So I really recommend to understand how the fight works to watch the actual Dxun guide, because I went over all the mechanics on the actual Apex Vanguard kill video. The mechanics don't change, it's still the same. You wanna make the maximum usage of your stim and deflection to face tank the boss, mainly during zone defense, otherwise he's gonna desync. You also need to start running before your immunity goes down. Like, I'm gonna play the video here and go explain. The start is the same as you would do on a normal kill, where you just use all your cooldowns and you start with the battery. It's the same thing. This video again is from a sale run we did, where we just use a kite strat to do. We usually use a kite strat just to do the wash achievement. Our first wash achievement, we just did our normal strat, but when we did again, for people who missed, we just did a normal strat. For people who missed, we just do the kite strat. This is gonna be a lot quicker guide than the other one, because it's just gonna be going over how we do this. How we did this, because this is not our normal strat. Actually, the kite strat, I have to give credit to Origin on Starforge, because they started doing this strat a long time ago, and that's pretty much their normal strat currently. So I just pick up the battery and I ignore the fact that flares should be a thing. We use the first 3 flares, but that's about it. I just start with the battery and stim console, and I just pick up like multiple stims, because each tank's gonna need like a 30 to 40 stims to make sure you can do this. So I just pick up like a 10 to 12 at start. And then I go prepare to pick up the new battery. And with the second battery, I'm just gonna do red venom immediately. Pretty much. Oh, I just picked up again, yeah, when I plugged the battery, and the battery just had to be replugged. So I clean the red venom. And then I'm just gonna wash and do the tank swap here. Up until this part, it's been pretty normal. The ads kill, we kill the ads still on the same 2 spots, near the console and not on the path. But because we don't make flares, you have so much extra charge. It's like ridiculous the amount of charge you have. You literally have to just keep washing. You pretty much have to wash every like 2 or 3 puddles, and sometimes every other puddle, like 1 puddle, and you wash and do 6 stacks, 6 charges battery EMPs. Like I use my cooldowns here, and my stim is gonna be back for zone to face tank more in zone defense. if you kite hindering zone defense, it's completely desynced. We're gonna swap way later on this strat because there's no reason for us to swap as much as we did on normal strat. So I just asked for predation and I started kiting. And we just use the whole room to kite. Whenever I can stim again, I'm just gonna stop and stim. And when I'm about to, before my stim runs out, I'm just gonna run. I need to ask for predation and run. Because the reason I do that is so DPS can do damage on the boss and we don't enrage. Bloodlust, and I'm already running because I don't have a stim to tank on the Bloodlust because I had to face tank before. So with the Kite strat, you're not always gonna have stim during Bloodlust. Predation wasn't even up yet, so that's why I recommend having 2 Marauders. We did with 2 Marauders the other day and it was pretty good. And I am already running. So you need to have above 135% speed boost so the boss doesn't catch up. If you don't have that much speed, he eventually is going to catch up to you. We use stealth scan speed boost too. So I'm about to have my stim available, so I'm just going to stim again and face tank. Once I'm running out of stims, this is when we're going to tank swap. Like I'm going to take advantage, the maximum advantage possible from my defensives. I'm still in risk of getting one shot here by true deflection. Bloodlust happens and I don't even have stim. And the boss just spit on a terrible spot. Like we need to wash soon. Here we just need to wash. And contagion already happened, and we still have so many charges because we're not making flares and we keep kiting the boss. And I got 1 melee and I have no defensives, but I stealthed out for the tank swap because we're supposed to swap there, and I'm gonna go just grab a lot of stims. But there's no battery. We usually have a battery there, so I'm just gonna do some mechanics and I'm gonna go do what I have to. Like, we're gonna get the red van in here, EMP, and I'm gonna have to do the mechanics soon. And after that, I pretty much have to watch if I want to grab my stims because the acid blast, I have like a 3 stacks for an acid blast. I'm just gonna get 1 shot if I keep grabbing stims. Like, since we need room, I need to wash again. Like, it's pretty much like if you do a kite strat, you need to go pretty much for as many washes as you can. Since you don't make flares, you have extra charges. We pretty much eat a lot of charges on flares with our strat. And here I'm just grabbing as many stims as I can. Like, I want to have like a 30-40 so I can do the rest of the fight. It's actually kind of funny because me and my co-tank, we do our opposite roles here. And it's kind of spooky sometimes because I got 2 acid blasts dropped on me there, and that can happen. The tanks drop acid blasts on each other. I got pulled by a droid XD. That was fine, I just have to drop the battery. And they're gonna forget my existence. So to get rid of charges, I'm just gonna wash. Like, I'm gonna wash and go break the EMP, even like with a battery, like with multiple charges. But I'm pretty sure I already had There's already a battery set up on EMP. I'm just gonna grab charges and break. Don't even care how many charges I use, because the space is pretty chaotic if you see like the amount of charges we have. And it's just like running around the room and face tanking when you can. I was about to get pulled again, and then I dropped the battery, and the droid forget me. He did zone defense during blinding too, so that was something. As more the fight goes, we're gonna get closer and closer to the peak performance in Rage because of how much we have to kite to not die on this strat. It's super risky. Like the first deluge is happening, and I'm still like not doing my I'm still just doing mechanics, and I usually have the bots here on normal strat. Like I have battery set up for Red Venom already for the wash. Like because they're gonna happen around the same time. You just don't have to make flares, and it kind of makes you lose track if you're not used to. Oh, you also don't do any charges, so you don't get bugged batteries either. So you actually do all EMPs normally. You have zero control of the stacks with this. On other polls we did previously with the Kite strat, we had those things happening where the acid blast dropped right on the console I needed to use. That's just gonna happen, like there's not much you can do about that. I asked my co-tank to just click since he was there, and it was convenient for him to wash. Sometimes you're not gonna have a stim or anything after blinding, so you just have to start running instantly. Your DPS too needs to do normal add skills, so you have charges to do mechanics and wash enough times. I'm also setting up the batteries. I was setting up for a wash, and I took the bots again, and I'm just using my stim, and I'm gonna have to get ready to run soon. Like now I need to start running. If I get hit, I'm most likely dead. Here we need a wash. A deflection. I can face tank for a little bit. Acid deluge. I just stealthed the 2 circles, but with the kite strat, depending on your distance, you're gonna even be able to stealth. Just you pre-pop the stim, and I'm gonna face tank on ultraviolence. No, I'm not face tanking ultraviolence. I'm just running, and I'm gonna face tank at some point. But I could have face tanked on that ultraviolence. At this point we were super close to enrage, so we actually needed to push DPS, so I just had to face tank. With overcharge I might get one shot if but the pred wasn't back up, so I couldn't do much. That was like the second time we did this strat, so we still needed to we can still improve a lot on this one, but that's not something we do very often. We just do our normal strat. But this is a totally like this is a legit strat you can do, and it's not like it requires a get used to. Whatever it gets more consistent for you is what you should do. Whatever is more consistent for your group, and you can, it's gonna be better for executing. Last ditch is just the same thing, DPS stim and tank swap on cooldowns in stim. Here my co-tank forgot to taunt, but it's fine. We got this. Well, that's it for the kite strat. I recommend you to just watch the regular kill guide, because on that one I explain how every mechanic works, and I'm gonna link on the description, since I really recommend, because I didn't really explain the new mechanics for the kite strat, and I recommend doing the kite strat like once you understand how the fight works. Thanks everyone for watching, and this is actually the last Dxun guide. Next is gonna be Gods from the Machine. See ya.